Hello, and welcome to Your Deep Life for Christian Women with me, your host, Barbara Chambers. This is the space where we go beyond surface living and delve into real transformation, where we renew our minds, realign our lives, and do the deeper work required to walk boldly into who God has called us to be. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And if you're a returning listener, thank you for being a part of this community. You already know this is where we don't just talk about change, we walk it out. Before we dive into today's episode, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another episode. And if something in today's conversation speaks to your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Please share it with another person who needs to hear this message today. Because these conversations, they're not just content, they're catalysts. Now, let me ask you something. How are you spending your time? I don't mean what's on your calendar, but what's actually consuming your energy, your attention, your life. As you already know, time is one of the most valuable gifts that we've been given. And yet, so many of us are living our lives like we have so much of it. We've got an endless supply of it. Today's episode is titled The Power of Time. And this conversation is going to challenge how you see time, how you use it, and how you honor it. Because time is not just something to manage, it's something to steward. And sometimes it takes life-altering moments to truly understand that. My guest today, Dorothy Vernon-Brown, knows this intimately. She is a marketing automation and AI strategist, founder of AKB2 AI Marketing and Consulting. And she is a woman whose life was radically reshaped by a near terminal leukemia diagnosis. In this season, everything shifted. The goals, the drive, the success markers, they all faded in comparison to one important thing: time. She wasn't focused on money. It wasn't about more achievements, just the desire for more time. And what Dorothy has done with that perspective is absolutely powerful. Today, Dorothy helps entrepreneurs and leaders reclaim their time through AI and automation, not just to build their businesses, but to build lives that are intentional, aligned, and deeply meaningful. In today's conversation, we're talking about what it really means to treat time as sacred, how to steward it well, and how to stop living in constant overwhelm. So if you're feeling stretched, busy, or like there's never enough of you to go around, this episode is especially for you. So let's dive in. Welcome, Dorothy, to the Your Deep Life for Christian Women podcast. How are you, my friend?
Well, thank you so much. I'm great. I'm great. We'll talk a little bit about just a little bit of and it ties into the whole thing we're going to talk about. There is some kind of grief in our family at this point.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yes, I actually lost my brother-in-law. So this couldn't come at a more important time, this
Right.
conversation we're about to
Yeah.
have.
And we're talking about the power of time today, right?
Yes,
But
yes, we
before we
have.
get into the meat of this wonderful conversation,
Yes,
I want you to just share with us a little bit about you and your story because, you have, by God's grace, you are still with us,
yes.
right? So tell us a little bit about you and your story.
Yes, well, yeah, thank you. When you talk about God's grace, I actually see it as God's miracle. It
Hmm.
is, for me, it really is a miracle. So Dorothy Vernon-Brown, I love to say Dorothy as in the Wizard of Oz, but no red shoes right now. And so I am an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur, businesswoman for a very long time. For a long time, I came out of corporate. I have a background in marketing. And now I'm in marketing automation and AI. But outside of that, I am a mother to adult children. I'm
Mhm.
a wife, and I've co-founded a charity that helps to bring more potential Black donors to Canada's National Stem Cell Registry. And that came out of a personal crisis, which I know
Mm.
we'll talk about.
Mm.
So, yeah, in a nutshell, not only am I a businesswoman, but I currently chair that nonprofit, co-founded, currently chair, and we're doing some pretty amazing life-saving work.
Yes, I know, and I've been here, I've heard all about your nonprofit organization, which is absolutely amazing. But before we go any further, Dorothy, what does purpose mean to you?
Great question. Purpose is that one thing, that one mission you have been given that you hold sacred
Mm.
you hold it sacred to fulfill. I feel it is something innate that God has given you that you need to fulfill.
Hmm.
That this is your mandate. This is what you have to do on this earth before
Mm.
you depart.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what God has called you to do before you depart. Unfortunately, not everyone ever gets there. I remember Miles Monroe has a book called The Pursuit of Purpose. And
Hmm.
he said in the book that the grave is the richest place when it comes to purpose.
Yes,
Because so many people leave us without fulfilling their God-given mandate, right?
yes,
But you started donor drive for Dorothy
yes,
out of not something that you thought you would do, but out of your own diagnosis
yes.
that came, you were diagnosed with leukemia and you realized there was a major problem. Can you
Hmm.
just talk about that, share about that a little
Yeah.
bit?
For sure. Thank you. So, yeah, you're correct. The donor drive for Dorothy was born out of a personal crisis.
Mm-hmm.
So, back in 2012, and we talk about we have no idea what hand we're going to get. I
Mm-hmm.
was minding my own business, going along my merry way, doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
I had zero health issues prior to this. And I just actually one summer morning, I got up and I just saw a bruise on my left thigh and decided to get it checked out. So let me just fast forward the story. I did. I was called in to the clinic and I was told I probably have leukemia and I need to get to the hospital right away. And when I tell you, this came out of left field. I mean, like complete left field.
Wow.
And then I had to get to the hospital right away. Because if you know anything about blood cancers, acute myeloid leukemia or AML is very aggressive.
Mm.
So I needed to get to the hospital to be safe. They needed to do some workup to determine what kind of leukemia it was. The doctor felt only knew it was leukemia, so I had to go to the specialist. So it turned out to be acute myeloid leukemia. I was being treated at Princess Margaret Hospital, and
Mm.
I decided to go through conventional treatment. I did so, and I was doing pretty well. I got through the treatment, which is no walk in the park. It's really,
Mm,
really, really tough. It's really
mm,
awful. You're in hospital. Back in the day, I spent about 5 weeks in the hospital because that was a protocol at the time. You have to stay because of how intense and rigorous the treatment is.
mm,
So I got through that, and then I was, there I was in remission,
mhm,
and I was doing really well. But I understood that there was a chance that this could return. And if it did return, the best outcome for me would be a stem cell transplant. So that seed was kind of planted. And I
mhm,
actually had a nurse, a Black Jamaican nurse, who planted the seed about looking at the stem cell registry. And it was that I started to have that inkling about what that looks like.
mhm,
Well, fast forward 10 months later, the cancer came back.
mm,
And now my best option was a stem cell transplant because the truth is that gives you the best outcome. You can either extend your life significantly or actually end up with a cure. Because if you continue with treatment and it keeps coming back, your odds of surviving diminishes, right? Just with the conventional treatment. And
mhm,
it's when it came back that I recognized, okay, I'm going to move forward with a stem cell transplant. A very tough decision, actually, because
mhm,
there are lots of complications that can happen from a stem cell transplant. We'll
mhm,
we'll we'll talk about some of those. But I just want to pause and let your audience know that when we talk about a stem cell transplant, there's this nothing invasive. It's almost like a blood transfusion, but
mhm,
you're just being transfused with somebody else's stem cells. So recognizing that I needed a stem cell transplant, I also learned that your best option is from someone from your ethnic background. And because I'm Jamaican, I'm black, and I'm mixed, it meant that I needed to find someone who was very, very similar to me, which would be had that very similar genetic makeup, which would be my
mhm.
siblings. But the reality medically is that it's about 25 to 30% of the time that you'll find someone that's extremely similar to you in your family. So
Mm.
they had tested my four siblings, and I didn't have one that was fully compatible at all. And so once that happens, and you have to turn to the stem cell registry if you decide you want to move forward with it. So in Canada, the stem cell registry is owned and managed by Canadian Blood Services.
Mhm,
And in 2014, when I started to look at the stem cell registry, I had a better understanding of what that meant for my healthcare.
mhm.
I recognized just 1% of Blacks made up the registry.
Wow.
1%.
Wow.
So I knew instinctively that I wasn't going to find someone. I just knew that. And that meant that I probably, if that was my only option, I would die. But I also knew instinctively that something had to be done. And that's how that crisis turned into what we have now, because it started out as a campaign. I decided to go public with my story to garner press so we could start to talk about the problem that we had in the registry and
Mm,
get some kind of kind of coverage and get people out to do some swabs. So Donor Drive for Dorothy was born as a campaign to get more people in the registry and in the hopes of finding a match. But the truth is, I just didn't have enough time. The time was not on my side
mm.
because you need a lot of people in the registry. Today, fast forward to 2026, we have made some kind of leap, but it's just not good enough. We're now at 2% and just a little bit over 10,000 Blacks in the registry. And when
Wow.
you compare that with, say, the Asians, they're about 7%, Caucasians are about 62%. So we are severely underrepresented in the registry. And that's how I decided, outside of trying to find a match for myself, I had to do this. We had to do this for the wider Black community because I have walked with women who were waiting on someone from the registry and they died waiting.
Mm,
And that's why this has become a mission of mine. Apparently, this is now my purpose because I had another charity before that. And then now God said, this
mhm.
is what you got to do. And
Yeah.
so here we are, 11 years later, where we have made some inroads. We're proud of the work that we have done. We have added at least 1,200 Black potential donors that we can attribute.
Mm.
Um, we recently had one match. We had a match, a compatible match for a donor, which is the moment we live for. Just
Yeah.
imagine that, because you're pretty much trying to find a needle in a haystack, your
Mm-hmm.
twin.
Mm-hmm.
So we were able to, because of one of the drives that we had, and we were chatting earlier, it
Mm-hmm.
was a very small drive at the park in the parking lot of our hairstylist, who happens to be both our hairstylists. How uncanny is that? God's sense of humor, right? Yeah. And it happened that someone who swabbed, who happens to be her daughter, is a match for a
Yeah.
donor. And she's gone through
Wow.
all the work upon the process to donate her
Wow.
stem cells. So this is why we do what we do. And
Yeah.
outside of that, we have also, in terms of numbers, we have we also provide financial grants to patients, because we know it takes cash to really care and to get through the extended treatment period, because you're talking for for years.
Mm-hmm.
When you do a stem cell transplant, they tell you upfront you're going to be off work for at least a year,
Wow.
at least 1 year,
Wow.
and it's more.
Mm.
And so we have a program called Gift of Patients, where we financially gift patients and their families. So we have gifted over 57 patients and their families. So
Wow.
yeah, that's the work that we're doing, born out of my personal crisis.
I just want to commend you and say thank you because, I understand that I've lost friends who have passed because they could not find compatible donors. They've had leukemia and they've
Mhm.
passed. And so, the work that you're doing is valuable to us. And sometimes we don't see the value because it's not affecting us, it's not impacting
Yeah.
us in any way, right? Unfortunately, in Canada, there is an age restriction, right? And
Yeah.
I think you said it's between the ages of 18 and 35, something like that.
17 to 35.
That's
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to clarify something or expand on something.
Yeah,
So,
certainly.
Canadian Blood Services, they're restrict their age range to be part of to swab, to be a donor, to get into the registry between 17 and 35. But you're on the registry until you're 60.
Hmm.
So even someone who's already in the registry and they're 40 and they're a compatible match, they'll still be tapped to become a donor for. So it doesn't mean that because you are 35, you and you're no longer um let's call it an option for a patient. You are, as long as you get into that registry before you're 36.
Right. Okay. Okay. So
Hmm.
for all of you that are listening and you're between the ages of 17 and 35 before your 36th birthday, soon as you turn 17, please contact your local Canadian blood donation
Services,
services.
blood.ca, yes.
Yeah,
Or they can come through us.
yeah, or go to Donor Drive for Dorothy and contact them about, I just want to get on the registry, right?
Hmm.
And you will be possibly helping someone somewhere who desperately needs time. And I
Yes,
want to go back into that and talk about time,
yes.
Dorothy, because you said that, you waiting on the registry, you realized that time wasn't available to you.
No,
What did that paradigm shift? What was the paradigm shift in you when you began to think about your life and the value, the importance of time?
yeah. You know what? I go back and I thought I'd been way past the emotional connection, but I
Mm,
remember the very weekend that I was diagnosed. It is the civic holiday, that August 1 civic holiday, and
mm,
a couple families of us had planned a trip to Niagara.
mhm.
And I said, we're still gonna do it. We're still gonna keep moving. We're still gonna keep moving. But I remember distinctly when we got there and all the families were disassembling, taking out their picnic baskets and so on. And I stepped back. I looked at all the families and I said to myself, will my children have me around for much longer? I remember thinking that because at the time my children were teenagers. My daughter was in high school
Mm.
and my son, I think, was just in university. So
Mm.
will they have me around? That's when it hit me that I don't know how this thing is going to go. I just don't know how. And then I remember when I started treatment, I was in a hospital because I was in a hospital for long periods, right?
Mhm.
And I was in there alone when my family wasn't there, in the nights or early mornings.
Mm.
I remember just begging God for more time. Just it was then that it hit me when people say that, we yeah, spend your time wisely. That's when it really hit me that time is not a renewable resource.
No.
It's not a renewable resource. So I didn't ask for more money. I didn't ask for promotion. I didn't ask for more clients. I didn't ask for more material things. I
Mm.
was asking for more time
Mm.
so I could spend it with the people that I loved.
Wow. Wow. I was I can't remember last year sometime I was participating in an event or some kind of seminar, webinar. I can't remember what it was. But the person asked the question, if on average we die around the age of around 70, 77, right? How many more summers do you have left between your current age and 77, right?
Yes,
And I'm not joking, the reality of that small number was quite jarring and shocking for
yes,
me because I was
yes,
like, oh, I before long, I'm going to be up there in that age group, right? And we think that we have time.
yes,
We all continue, and especially when we're young, right?
yes,
When we're young, we feel like we've got whole, we have so much time. There is so much ahead of us. We can just act, do, be however we want to, and aimlessly go through life, right?
yeah,
But what I've discovered is that age group between 30 and 40 goes very quickly. And between 20 and 40, and then 40 and 60 goes just as quickly. Before you know it,
yeah,
those years are
yeah,
gone, right?
yes, yes,
How have you been able to really now steward your time?
yes, yes. I like that. I love that word that you've used, steward, because stewardship means accountability, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want to go back to something you said. I actually heard of the whole concept too of that. How many more summers or birthdays and so on. And
Mm-hmm.
can I tell you something? When I heard of that concept, I remembered my mom that she was getting up in age, and I made a commitment to myself for the rest of her life. I'm going to spend every birthday with her. And
Mm-hmm.
I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
So you talk about stewardship of time. It means being intentional with the things that you do and with the people that you love. So my stewardship of that particular relationship and building the relationship is ensuring that I travel to Jamaica once a month, once a year during my mom's birthday to be with her.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. That is what we talk about. In terms of stewardship of time, I ensure I do the things that are important to me, that fulfills the purpose we talked about earlier,
Mm-hmm.
that has impact and significance. In terms of stewardship of my time, I ensure I treat my clients and keep my word because their time is also important, that I'm not wasting their time and I protect mine. And so that's how I think about stewardship of time, intentionality. So I spend birthdays with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
The only in recent memory was during COVID
Yeah.
when we couldn't travel. And
Yeah.
and went right after because it's dawned on me, OMG, it's true. How many more birthdays do I have with my mom? Because when she's gone, she's gone.
One. Exactly.
I can't hug, I can't talk to her, I can't. So that's it. I ensure to Barbara that I don't sweat the small stuff.
Mm.
Honestly, everything can be figured out, no
Mm.
matter how bad it feels. And we all go through bad things in our lives, bad timing, things didn't work out the way we want. The client
Mm.
fell through, the revenue or depending on didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I figured that once I have life, there is hope. And that my goal is to ensure every day that I'm alive, one, I am grateful. I still protect it. I'm intentional. I build a relationship and I do things that move the needle. And that's
Yeah.
how I steward my time.
So you started your business, you're a marketing AI specialist consultant, right?
Hmm.
And we've moved into this world where AI supposedly is meant to save us time, but then there are those of us who feel this is the devil at work, right?
Right, right,
But there are pros and cons of everything, right?
right,
So you chair a charity that works to save lives through cell stems. What has witnessing time-sensitive life or death situations taught you about time that most entrepreneurs never learn?
right. You know what? I think I'll go back. I think we all believe that time is a renewable resource, that we have endless amounts of it.
Yes, yeah.
So let's just put it off. Let's get it done next week. Let's just not do it because I'm not comfortable. It's not perfect. It's not the right timing. And I think that's what most entrepreneurs, they are waiting for the perfect moment. And the perfect moment will never come because
Never.
it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
The other thing that I learned during my own journey, Barbara, is that even if we have the time that we want, we might not be able to show up in the way that we want because something else has happened or something else is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So we might not. So for me, it's not putting off the things that I can get done today. And it goes back to what my father used to say to me is that don't put off things that you can do today for tomorrow. And this whole thing of stewarding my time is what I keep remembering. I keep coming listen, I'm tempted sometimes just to put things off too, right? Tempted to.
We all do it. We all do it.
Exactly.
Yes.
But I'm saying, I don't know what tomorrow brings. I don't know. That day, it was a Thursday. I remember it so clearly, that summer Thursday,
Mm.
the morning of that diagnosis, I thought I had everything under control. As a matter of fact, I thought I was invincible.
Mm-hmm.
The day before, I thought things are going to go exactly the way I've planned it.
Mm-hmm.
My life is going to roll out exactly how I want it to roll out. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and the remaining days and years after taught me that nothing
Nothing
is
is
ever the
ever,
same
no. And nothing is ever guaranteed, right?
and nothing is ever
Now that, you
guaranteed.
know, what's coming to mind as you're talking is that many of us procrastinate in doing things because we're afraid, right?
Yes,
And so we put off and we put off and we put off and we put off. And sometimes the fear is all in our heads, right?
yes,
It's all about what we think other people might say, what we think might happen, and we have no idea. I was talking to a young lady this week, actually, a couple of days ago, and we were talking about her possibly coming on to being a
hmm,
guest on the podcast, right? And so we were talking about her business, and she said, "You know, Barbara, I'm not really where I want to be yet in setting it up. I got this to do, and and I said, look, you could be trying to get to perfection but you'll never get there.
Right.
Just start the thing.
Yes.
Because once you start the thing, you can tweak as you go along, right?
Correct.
And many of
Correct.
us are procrastinating and putting off because we want something to be perfect. But who knows if you're going to wake up tomorrow? There are some people that go to sleep. There are some people that went to bed last night and did not wake up this morning.
I'm
We
telling
give
you.
God thanks every day that we wake, open our eyes, and we breathe, right? But there's no guarantee, as you said, about tomorrow. We have all these wonderful plans, but God is the author and the finisher of our lives.
Amen.
And
Yep.
if God ordains that today is your day, what have you done with your days up
Yes.
until that hard stop? How are you
Mm-hmm.
making a difference? How are you
Yes. Yes.
impacting a life? Are you just
Yes.
working to make money? Are you just working to live this luxurious life that when you're gone, everybody else is going to benefit from it except you, right? So,
Yes.
what are you living for? What is, how are you allowing God's purpose to be fulfilled in you? And I love
Yes.
how you just really took this precious concept of time and
Yes.
packaged it into a solution of working with your clients. Do you want to talk about
Yes.
that some?
Yes. Yes. Oh, I'm so excited to talk about that because actually I was just working, I'm working with one client. And so I want to say to, I want to first address, if you don't mind, go back a little
Mm-hmm.
to you talk about some of your entrepreneurs listening that are afraid or they're fearful that this is not the
Mm-hmm.
right time or they're procrastinating. There are two things I'd like to say. Progress beats perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Just start. When you start, things will come to you. Everything can be figured out. One of the things I teach my clients is we just need the how will come. Don't worry about the how. It will come. It will come. Everything can be figured out. The solution is out there. You just need to want it. Just need to want to do it. So that's one thing. So in terms of packaging this, so I have a client, I'm working with her, and then because I came out of traditional marketing, and then the
Mm-hmm.
market started moving, right? And then it moved, and I got into AI when I came back to work. I got into automations because that's how I really started along on this path. I got into automation because I saw where it could save time. And I always wonder, why am I drawn to automation? Why? Why? I don't have a technical background. And I realized it was a time-saving element of it. When that thing permeated my body fully and completely
Yeah.
about time, somehow I gravitated towards this tech solution of
Mm.
automation. And then chatbots came around, and then this whole Gen AI. And I realized, okay, I've been on this journey, but now we can accelerate how we use and how we reclaim time. So I have a client, and we're building out her business. We're building out the foundation. And I introduced her to using AI to build an infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Barbara, I believe my concept is strategy first. You have to know why you're doing something in order to do it well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I ensure when I work with clients, we're building out an infrastructure. Why, what, where, when, how much. And so she's building out an infrastructure because she has a talent, but we have to build that infrastructure, that house, that solid foundation on which to
That's
build
right.
on top of that.
That's right. Yeah.
And when I introduced her to what AI can do, her thing, I mean, every single day she's writing me, telling me, OMG, OMG, this is what it's done, this is what I've done, this is what I've been able to accomplish. Here is what would take me 10 hours to do. I'm now getting it down to an hour. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, not only my clients, but now I'm using AI to knock off, like when I have to do presentations.
Yeah.
I mean, I can easily, without losing or brand identity or brand voice. Leave it in my co-work, go do other things, come back, and it's already uploaded to my files. In fact, just Monday, I was meeting with a peer. We were gonna talk. So just before we got on, that's exactly what I do. And I had a presentation to do. I already had everything that I needed. I
Yeah.
had the template.
Yeah.
I left it in co-work, went to have the meeting, came back, done in my folder.
Wow. The power of AI. I think the
Time.
challenge, I think the problem is people not knowing how to use
Yes,
AI effectively, right?
correct.
And I am learning that as well. I am beginning to learn about the opportunities, the possibilities, but that I need to still be strategic
Yes,
in how I use this software, right? It's
right.
and I don't think many of us are using it as effectively as we really want to use it or know how to use it. Um, but you're helping your clients to save valuable time. What are your clients now able to do that they weren't able to do before?
Oh my goodness. So the automation, because I'm coming out of the automation background too,
Mm-hmm.
we just run campaigns and leave them, right? We're not doing that manual follow-up. The follow-up is already preset. So
Mm,
that's what AI can do, help you to schedule all your follow-up emails, schedule your meetings, run your reports automatically. I mean, what can't it do right now is what we're not aware of. But there's so many use cases. And so that's what we talk about is a mundane task. It takes a mundane things off of your plate that you don't like to do that eats up a lot of your time and gives you back the time to pursue the higher value task. So for argument's sake, so my client, she's going after one client, going after grants. We're
mm-hmm.
able to do deep research for her to come up with a for it to come up with grants that are relevant to her and put it in a tracker
Yeah,
that gives her it's organized, she
yeah,
can track it,
yeah.
and now she has a system. We put everything in a system because I think that's a problem that we have as entrepreneurs. We are trapped with the shiny object syndrome, right? AI's come, it's shiny and thing. But we need to use AI to build out our systems, to
Systems.
build out our SOPs,
Mm-hmm.
our standard operating
Mm,
procedures.
mm-hmm.
That if you step away from the business, it can run without you. Like I'm going off tomorrow. I shared with you, my brother-in-law passed, so I've got
Yeah.
to take some time. And it happens to be I've spent extended time to be with my mom. While I'm gone, my AI assistant, Anya, my voice assistant will be taking care of business.
So you don't need to worry about what's happening because everything's running simultaneously and
While
continually while you're gone. Yeah.
while I'm
Yeah.
stepped away. So
Yeah.
somebody can book a call, schedule something. If they want to know something, AI, Anya will talk to them, get them the link, do whatever needs to be done. And we're just tipping the iceberg. So again, it comes back to why are we doing what we're doing? What
Mm,
is the problem we're trying to solve? So
mm,
if we start with that baseline of figuring out what is a bottleneck in the business, what is we're trying to solve, and how AI can help us to solve that, then that's really a good place to start. That's exactly where I start with clients. I just don't introduce them to stuff. What is it that you're trying to solve? What's
mm,
your biggest bottleneck right now?
mm-hmm.
Let's figure that out. Once we figure that out, let's look for the solution so that you can be intentional with your time. Do the high value task, build the relationships that you need to build, spend more time with your family because that's what they'll
Yeah.
remember.
Hey everyone. Before we jump back into today's episode, I want to share something really special with you. My first book, Worship Over Worry, is now available. It's a 21-day devotional designed to help you find peace, strengthen your faith, and rediscover joy through daily worship. This isn't just a book, it's an invitation to shift your mindset and posture your heart towards God, no matter what season you're in. You can grab your copy now on Amazon, wherever you are in the world. Get yours today. So now let's get back to the episode.
You'll remember.
Okay. So a lot of the women that are listening to this podcast, or some of the women that are listening to this, some of them are entrepreneurs, some of them run their own businesses, some of them feel that God is calling them to do something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're wondering about, where am I going to get the time from to do this? I might have a young family, or, I'm already involved in ministry right now and I've got lots of commitments. What advice would you give them in setting up some kind of automated or artificial intelligence software or something to
Right.
get them going that allows them to still do all the things that they need to do as they are transitioning into
Mm-hmm.
running this business or this, whatever it is God's calling them to do on a larger scale?
Yes, good.
So it's very foundationary, right? Before they
Yeah,
elevate.
yeah. So I'm glad you asked that question because my simple answer is find that one thing first. One thing.
Mm-hmm.
Find the one thing that you want to do that's going to solve a problem and that clients are willing to spend money on. Once you find that one thing, let's figure out what does that structure look like? What does the infrastructure look like to support that while I'm doing the other things, right? And when we figure out what infrastructure that needs to support it, when we implement, then we implement our systems and strategies and
Right,
processes. But
right.
I think a lot of us get overwhelmed
Yeah.
by trying to do too many things all at
Too many
once.
times. That's right.
In my world, they say simplicity scales,
Mm-hmm.
complexity fails.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
We're gonna do one
Mm-hmm.
thing, and then we knock it out the park. We see that it's viable. We build on that. Then we add. Now, for the women who have a lot of things in your head, the other way to look at it is to subtract rather than add.
Mm-hmm.
What else in your life do you need to subtract? What do you need to step away from that's not serving you right now?
That's right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So, how do we need to simplify our lives? Some of us are too busy.
And sometimes it's not that we're busy. We choose to occupy our time with a load of stuff that's not offering us any value, but it makes us appear or seem to be more important than we really are.
And that's what I call busy because busy doesn't mean productive.
No.
So that's it. So we have to evaluate again, which goes back to intentionality.
Yes.
What's the intention for my life? What do I want with my family?
Mm.
What do I want with the people that I'm building relationships with?
Mm-hmm.
What do I want for the business?
Mm-hmm.
Once we look at these things and determine exactly what it is we want, then we go around designing what that lifestyle looks like. So I'm building something that's based on my lifestyle because I'm big into the charity, which is pretty much a second job.
Yes. Yes.
So I have to build that lifestyle around it and put the systems and processes in place that are enabled by automation and AI to ensure that I can step away and it still runs
Yeah.
or the
And,
right people in place.
and what I love is that when I look at you, you don't look stressed. You don't look anxious. You don't look overwhelmed. You're calm. You're healthy. I can see peace. peace. I can feel the peace even through the
Yes.
airways, right?
Yes.
And I
Thank you.
think
Yes.
that's what makes the difference when you are truly stewarding your time. I'm going to keep using that word, when you're
Yes.
stewarding your time well.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. It's so funny you said that because I was talking to the team, the charity team,
Yeah.
and that's the exact words that was said. But Dorothy doesn't look stressed, or she's always calm. But I can say this to you, I was not always calm. Neither
Mm,
was I rah rah.
yeah.
But I would get stressed. But I've learned to manage it. After that, I'm I made a decision. And that's the other thing your listeners need to
Mm,
understand.
mm,
We don't need to complicate our lives. We just need to make decisions around them.
mm,
What's that one thing we're going to get rid of? What's that one thing that we're going to add that's going to make it easier?
mm.
Make the decision, commit to the decision, and implement what we say we're going to do. And that's for me, that's what it is. Because one thing that's non negotiable in my life that helps to keep the stress at bay is movement, is exercise. It's
Okay.
non negotiable for me.
So let me say this to you. I'm going to confess something here. I'm always confessing on this show, I tell you. So the last few weeks, I know God has been talking to me about movement, right?
Yes.
And I have been, I must admit, quite lazy, right? And so last night I was up and I was just browsing YouTube, and every video I watched was all about visceral fat, how to clear visceral fat, your gut health, right, and movement. And so I said to God, okay, you know what? I'm going to be intentional about
Mm-hmm.
this. I'm not going to just start this and done. And this morning I got up and I did a 45-minute workout.
High 10,
Seriously,
high 10.
seriously.
Yes.
And what the difference I found was I had my lunch because I don't eat before 11, 12 o'clock. So I had my lunch today about 1 o'clock, but I wasn't hungry
Mm-hmm.
until I had my lunch. And I had my lunch and I'm like, boy, I feel really full. And I thought, hold on, today feels different when it comes to food
Mm-hmm.
because I'd allowed my body to do what it needed to do through the exercise, right? To
Mm-hmm.
burn the energy, to burn the fat, to produce whatever it needed to produce to sustain me. Also, I
Mm-hmm.
found that greater clarity in my mind and being able
Yes.
to think better and being just focus on what I got done this morning in such a
Yes.
short space of time with such clarity and such precision. And
Mm-hmm.
I realized that, Barbara, God doesn't tell us to move our body for a joke, right?
Yes. Correct.
It's having multiple effects on how I function in my business, how I
Yes.
serve and how I connect with people, right? And then also about my longevity and my ability
Time.
to do
Yes.
more when my body is
Yes.
healthy.
Yes.
So you're right that time is also about what do I value that's
Yes.
important to my longevity on this
Yes.
earth.
Correct. Yes. I love it. Yeah. And I think um sometimes we complicate life too much.
Mm-hmm.
Life doesn't listen. I want to be very clear that things are going to happen in our lives. It's a feature
Yeah,
of life. That's the
yeah.
thing I've accepted, that the things that are coming at me, that it's just another feature of life because we are living a human experience.
Mm,
I have a choice to respond
mm,
in a certain way. And that is what this whole journey has also taught me is that I sometimes have no control, but many times I have no control over a lot of things. But I do have control how I respond to the
yeah.
things that have been thrown at me. I
Yes.
have control over the hand that I've been given. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
have control over. And so that's where that intentionality comes from and ensuring that does it is this high impact, least effort? So I'm constantly weighing what's going to give me when I do, even when I'm doing a mundane chores, like on a Saturday morning, I group my tasks. Or so I'm grouping my task. I'm grouping the things I need to get done.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So you're managing your time in the best way for you. You're
Yes.
managing yourself, you're managing what you do, you manage your time that allows you to maximize what you have to be able to do other things that maybe are more fun or family
Or do
oriented
nothing.
or do not
Or do
exactly.
nothing. Or do nothing. And that's now my thing. I said, listen, my time is so important to me.
Mm,
I'm guarding it and I will waste it the way I want to waste it. That's on me. But I'm not going to give that power to someone else to manage my time for me. Because
mm,
if we don't manage our own time, somebody else is managing that for us.
that's right. That's right.
Somebody's pulling us on in a direction that
Yeah.
we didn't want to go in.
Yeah.
Somebody's making their urgent, your urgent. So we've got to really get smart because time is really life's greatest currency, Barbara. It really is. It really is life's greatest currency, and we've got to spend it wisely. It is not a renewable resource.
No, it's not. And I'm so thankful that we can have this conversation because, you know, this podcast was created to inspire and motivate women to step into the things that God is calling them to do.
Hmm.
Jeremiah 1:5 or Ephesians 2, verse 10, we are God's masterpiece, created in Christ Jesus to do great things, right?
Yes,
And
yes,
so God calls us with a holy purpose. And the purpose is always about glorifying God and the Father being reflected in and through us.
yes.
But when we sit back and think that we have time to do what God wants us to do, we are actually doing a disservice and a dishonor to God.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what I'd like to add to that, Barbara, is that God has given us talents too
Come on.
to multiply. Remember that parable? He scolded the person who did not wait it.
Yeah, he buried his one talent.
Yeah.
Mm,
And what these tools that we have in our hands today, including our phone,
yes.
it provides us with an opportunity to become more efficient in
Yeah.
how we do things. So even I get it, young mom, I was there. So I work with a group of Nigerian moms, teaching
Mm-hmm.
them AI empowerment.
Mm,
And one of the things that I taught them, one of the things is that determine what's the top three things you want to do this week. Get it out there, determine and ask your large to help you with a plan.
mm-hmm.
So you know what your top three priorities are the week, but you're also saying this is the time I have. Because when I think about stuff, the other thing for sometimes, Barbara, is that we overschedule ourselves. And
Yes.
that's what creates the stress.
Yes. Yes.
We want to do too many things. We don't
Yeah.
want to be quiet. So
Yeah.
we overschedule ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't need to go to everything. We don't need to be everywhere.
I have learned that as well. In my business, I'm very intentional about my Sundays.
Yes.
I don't work on a Sunday. I don't care what's
Yes.
happening. I don't work
Yes.
on a Sunday. Um, and then Monday is my day of preparing for my week. So I try not to have any meetings on a Monday simply because I want to be able to manage that effectively.
Yes.
And on a Friday, I try to finish my day by about 3, 4 o'clock, as early as I possibly can on a Friday, so that I can begin to reflect, think about what I've got planned for next week. Do I need to fill anything in for Saturday morning or Saturday
Hmm.
afternoon, work-wise? because I know Sunday I'm not doing it, right?
Right.
But I need it done before Monday, right? And so I'm learning that my time is really precious. One of the things I do personally is that after 8:30 at night, my phone goes on do not disturb.
Hmm.
And I'm not talking to, I don't care. You're not calling me unless I see it's family or someone very important in my life. People know, Barbara, I know you turn off your phone. Can I call you about 9 o'clock? And I'm like, okay, but we're not staying on the phone late. And it's because for me, I need downtime before I sleep.
Hmm.
And I know that I need 8 hours and I need to sleep well in those 8 hours. And me being on my
Yes.
phone chatting or doing work on my
Or
phone
scrolling.
10,
Yeah.
11 o'clock at night, 12, means that it's delaying my ability to get the rest I need so I can do the day thing that I need to do the next day. So I'm very intentional about what I allow to invade my space
Right.
and what I allow
Yes.
to invade my time.
Yes. And the decisions that you've made around it, because you've set
Hmm.
those boundaries, because
Yes,
you've established what your why is, right? So
yes,
if we're tying this back, you've
yes,
established what your why is, and you've put those strategies in place, and you have set the boundaries. So you hold that sacred. You hold those times sacred. You hold your after 8 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. time sacred. You hold Sunday sacred,
yes,
and you are intentional about it because you know what your why is
yeah,
and what you need to do around
yeah.
it.
And it's
And you've made
amazing.
that decision.
Yeah. And like it's amazing what you can do when you've got the structures, the
Yes,
infrastructures in place, when you've
yes,
got the
yes,
foundational stuff in place, and you're able to just function.
yes, yes. Yep. The structure, just taking that whole time now. So we talk about AI and automation. That I think is one of the biggest pieces, is ensuring that the infrastructure is in place.
Yes.
So you can build on that, right? And one step at a time. So we go back. So everything is interconnected. If the way, if we were to think about it in a way that will support how we want to work,
Yeah. Yes.
right? It's putting in the processes, doing the work upfront first, so that we can reap the benefits on the back end. We
Mm-hmm.
can step away. An emergency can happen, but things are still happening
Mm-hmm.
while you're away, and making that decision that this is how I want to lead my life. This is how I want to run my family. This is how I
Mm-hmm.
want to run my business.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's making the decisions about what's important to us.
Yes. 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 So as we sort of come down from this wonderful conversation about the power of time, what is one practical thing that somebody could implement right now? What tool, software, what can they do right now that they could implement that's going to help them to save time?
So the first thing I would like them to do, Barbara, is take out a pencil, paper, your phone, computer, whatever, and write down everything that they do each day.
Wow.
Because what we want to do is audit where they're having the time leaks, so we can
Mm-hmm.
plug those leaks.
Mm-hmm.
Not so if they're not having leaks, but how can we become more efficient? So if you can write down, record, put it in your phone, do it on a loom, do it whatever. You can actually, in a lot of these large language models, you can speak directly. This
Mm-hmm.
is what my day looks like. When I get up in the morning, I get up at X, I do Y, it takes me 3 hours. I do P, I do Q, determine what your day looks like, or structure that and
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, this is my day. We're all on large language models. Okay, Chat, Gemini, Claude, this is my day. Help me to come up with a strategy that can win me back 3 more hours. If say we want to win back time, give
Right.
me back 3 more hours, 4 more hours. Help me look at those blind spots. Ask me whatever questions that you need to ask me in order to complete this task successfully. But I think the first thing we have to do, Barbara, that what I would say, if
It's
it's
an
around
audit.
time, is to audit where your time goes. You
Mm-hmm.
would be surprised where those time leaks are,
Mm-hmm.
where the interruptions,
Mm.
the this, the that, where if you could get back 2 more hours, so you could channel it into something that's of a higher value that can multiply that to 5 hours. What wouldn't you not take that?
Absolutely.
So I think
Absolutely.
it's auditing and then working with your large language model to see where you can save more or win back 3 more hours. And then once you win that back, what's that high value task you're going to do? What's that one thing you're going to take it and do now that's going to help you to get to where you want to get to, or
Mm.
help you to multiply that into into 6 hours? And once you get 6 hours, because the more you do it, it's like a muscle. The more you can do it, and the more you can identify where you're draining time and where the
Mm-hmm.
leaks are,
Mm-hmm.
is it the greater the ability to plug it. And now you can now put systems in place in order to plug that, whether that's a follow-up system, a scheduling system, a content system, whatever
Mm-hmm.
that is. But we
Mm-hmm.
have to know what we're working with first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Strategy first. Where's the time leak? How do I stop that? And how do I create that high value task to get me to multiply?
Simple. Start with an audit. Write
Yes.
down everything that you do in a day. And maybe just look at your week and write down
Yeah.
everyday thing that you do every day for the week. There might be some repetitions, that's fine. But then you can use ChatGPT or you can go into Gemini or something, right? And use a prompt to help create time.
Savings, yeah. Talk to it like you'd be talking to your spouse or your assistant.
Mm.
This is what my week looks like. I
Mm-hmm.
want to save 3 hours. Please help me win back 3 hours by showing me where those blind spots are. And please ask me questions
Yeah.
that's going to help me until you have enough information that's going to help me to successfully complete this task. Because what that last question does, which is the price question,
Yes.
it's going to extract from you the things that you sometimes don't even know to ask or to
Yeah.
say.
Yes.
It's going to pull from you because you're now training it with your own information. But then it's going to ask you more and more things that is going to get you to think. Oh, you know what? Sometimes I have to pick up the kids too. Sometimes there are these unintended things that something eats into my time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to X or I have to Y. I do this 3 times a week. Then now, when you have that, you start looking for solution. Can I can I pool with another parent
Yes.
during the course of the day? Can I do this task while I'm waiting for my kid at karate? Because I've a peer said, "Oh, when I was at karate, this is what I did. I use." So where can we fit the small
Yeah.
task in
Yeah.
to winning back time?
Yeah. 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 Wow. Dorothy, you have been truly an inspiration, full of wisdom. Want to thank you. What is next for you? Um, what are you doing next? What have you got happening next? I know you're
Yeah. Okay.
traveling, obviously, but
Yeah.
around the donor drive, the stem cell
Oh,
donor
exciting
drive,
things.
what's
Yes.
happening next?
Oh, thank you so much for asking. So, we have a couple of things coming up in the summer. We're always doing swab drives or doing a
Mhm.
registration drives. So we have one. We're going to be at the P Region BCA Wellness Fair on the 20th of June at Malton Community Center. We'll be swabbing people and creating awareness.
Mhm.
On the 18th of July, we have our wellness 5K Steps for Hope walk, a
Okay.
peer-to-peer fundraiser in Oakville on the Bronte waterfront.
Okay, I know where
Yeah.
that is. That's just
So
down the
yeah,
road from
yeah.
me.
So
Yep.
we'll be yeah. So if your audience, so I can provide you with all the information. We want everybody out there doing the 5K walk. We start off with a warm up. We get some experts, whether it's a Zumba or someone who warm you up. We walk. We have breakfast. There's lunch you can order. We have fun, and then we sensitize you towards a cause. So we
Yeah.
have that. We have something we're working through. I can't disclose right now for September. We have our gala coming up on the 20th. That's the charity. So I'm just constantly doing stuff, right? We always have things. For me, right now, I have an audit, a business audit. Where's the bottleneck in your business? That's available. I'm just going to just finishing that off. Or if people want a strategy session or want to talk about, you know what, I'm not sure. Because remember, I understand business from A to Z. So while I'm an AI automation, there is a connection. You
Yeah.
know what? I've been thinking about this for a long time, but I don't know where to start. We can have a strategy first session where we can brainstorm, work through what's the most important thing to do and where you're gonna get your move the needle,
Yeah.
because a lot of times we're doing busy work as you talk about, but we want to do work that's revenue generating
Yes.
and not busy
Yes.
work only. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we
Absolutely.
can strategize on that.
Absolutely. Listen, you have been, I think, a blessing. I am so grateful for the day we met. I sat
Yes.
behind you strategically, God knows, right?
Okay.
Because remember, we were at this event together and I sat
Yes.
behind you.
Yes.
And then I realized you were getting an award, and I'm like, okay, wow, that's interesting. And then I'm listening to all the things that you're doing. I'm like, she needs to be on my podcast. I need to meet with her. So I'm just so grateful to God that He's strategically positioning us for
Yes.
such a time as this.
Yes.
And there's somebody who's listening who desperately needs the help to get to the next stage with their business.
Yes.
And I encourage you to reach out to Dorothy, and all her details will be in the description. So check out the description and contact her, and yeah, be successful. So Miss Dorothy, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you. This has been such an enriching topic. It's not something people talk about very often,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but this has just been so enriching for me. And it's just another level of why purpose is so important.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, thank you for having me. The time flew by. We had such a great conversation, and I hope your audience feels the same way that we do. That you know what, we get one shot at this thing,
One
and
job.
time is not a renewable resource.
Absolutely. God bless you, my sister. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Right
you.
back at you.
Yeah. That was such a rich and powerful conversation with Dorothy. And as she reminds us throughout today's episode, time is not a renewable resource. It is a gift, a sacred one. God has entrusted each of us with time, not just to fill our days, but to fulfill His purpose throughout our lives. And stewarding that well requires intention. It requires awareness. And yes, it comes with responsibility. But here's the good news. We are not without support. As Dorothy shared, tools like automation and AI can help us maximize our time, not just in business, but in our everyday lives. These tools can create space. They can increase efficiency, and they can free us to focus on what truly matters. Because we don't want to be like the unfaithful steward who buried the talent that he was given. We are called to multiply what God has placed in our hands, and that includes our time. So if you've been feeling stuck, overwhelmed, and even procrastinating on what you know you've been called to do, consider this for a moment. It's time to build the systems. It's time to create the structure. It's time to execute with intention. So where do you begin? Start with a simple time audit. Take a pen and paper or your phone and track your day. From the moment you wake up in the morning until the moment you go to bed, write down what you're doing and estimate how much time you're spending on each activity. Then take that information and use a tool like ChatGPT, Gemini, or another AI platform to help you identify where you can save time, streamline tasks, and focus your energy on higher value activities. And remember, AI is not a replacement for prayer. It's a tool, a support, something that can highlight areas for improvement and offer solutions, but always bring those insights back to God for wisdom and direction. Thank you so much for staying with me today. I truly hope you were encouraged and empowered by this conversation with Dorothy Vernon-Brown. You'll find all her contact details along with information about Donor Drive for Dorothy in the episode description. And if something in today's episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to take a moment to like this episode, leave a comment, and share it with someone who needs this message. And if you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you will never miss another episode of Your Deep Life for Christian Women. Until next time, stay focused with God, stay aligned with your purpose, and continue to live out His plan for your life. God bless you, and bye for now.